Hello, everyone. Hello. Today we are celebrating Tu BiShvat. Today we are celebrating, according to Jewish traditions, we're celebrating the new year for the trees or the birthday of the trees. I say it became a very nice tradition in Israel and also some other countries. Originally, Tu BiShvat was a holiday that was celebrated not as a holiday, but at the time of the agricultural season. It's not the holiday that comes from the Torah, Bible, or any sacred text, any holy scriptures. No, that was purely agricultural reason why the Tu BiShvat was considered the new year, a time of rejuvenation. It's when rain season stopped in Israel and that region in the Middle East, and the trees started getting their nutrition from their sap, not so much from absorbing from water. And of course, that was started bearing fruit. That was the whole idea. So it was originally agricultural reason for this celebration of this day. And eventually, over time, it became as a tradition and so much importance that even a special meal is set, seder, to commemorate this day. In more recent years, it became even a wonderful tradition to plant trees. In Israel, they plant trees on this day. And in some other countries, it became also, this tradition was adopted and people start planting trees. So there's even societies, communities, when you can donate a small amount and they will plant a tree for you. So I think that this kind of a holiday becomes important because it reminds us of our connection with nature, our connection, our humans as humans, how we are responsible to nature, spiritual connection with this day. It's considered in many places in the Bible, the human is compared to the tree. It's said that it's not only to enjoy nature, but also take care. That was how it was said in the Garden of Eden. So the first man, Adam, was supposed to take care of everything that grows, everything that grew in that garden. And there are also other connection with trees. You know, the trees are venerated in many cultures around the world, and trees are compared as our life, that their desire to grow, this straightness of their bodies, their ability to stretch, to reach to the sky, and also trees, very much important for survival of our as humanity, because it always provided first shelter, food, then building materials, warmth, because wood could give fire. So if we look how much connection we have with trees, with the entire culture, entire humanity, in every culture has connection with trees. Where trees grows because some regions have no trees, or very, very few. That's why today I would like to draw our tree and emphasize our connection as human, an example of the tree, how we can connect to trees and nature on this specific day. So I hope everyone knows a little bit about NeuroGraphica, enough to complete this drawing. We will be drawing neurographic lines, a little bit of rounding, and the rest will just follow me. There's no specific knowledge. I will switch to my camera to show my drawing. You can see I prepared very simple drawing materials, nothing special today, just regular markers, paper. Typically, I draw on letter size or A4. I will position probably my page and this vertical orientation. So it's easy to, my page is almost a square, so you may position it like this or like this, but I will emphasize the growth of a tree, of course, vertical position, but also the drawing itself will spread sideways. And quite often I draw the black marker, or dark blue or violet. But today, since we're drawing trees and nature, I will choose the green colors, and I will be drawing with them. It's going to be a kind of meditative drawing. Nothing really special, no big knowledge, just to celebrate this day with silent drawing and kind of meditative, maybe a little bit intuitive drawing. And an example, of course, we're using the technique of the neuro tree invented by Pavel Piskarev, the founder of NeuroGraphica. And now we'll add something else. So what I will add, to make my model, my tree, I will divide roughly the page in 3 parts. And I will show one way. If you want to watch first, you can, okay. So that typically when we draw the trees is we have 1/3 is for the root, 1/3 for the trunk of the tree, and 1 for the crown. And maybe a little bit more. I leave a little bit more for the crown today. Like, I have a certain idea that I would like to draw more the crown, because there will be another element, the sun, this heaven. So it's probably about like this. So just indicate with a pencil. You can draw with pencils first, but I'm not sure. I cannot draw that because you will not be able to see what I draw. And first, when I compared a person to the tree, I would like to draw just a symbolic human being here. Approximately the head. Just a rough sketch. Standing. This is like imagining that we are symbolic. Maybe it will remind you of cave drawings. It's very simple. Like we have women. There are the shoulders, about waistline, kind of our body, and standing. And what I'd like to see the trees, like raising arms towards the heaven, towards the sky. With so of course I drew a female figure, not because it refers it both for men and women, but because it looks better for the trunk if I draw a long skirt rather than pants. So that's the idea of the drawing. So I like trees, and now we can start drawing. The trees and humans, we have in common. We considered that we have our roots, and we can start drawing roots and how we have our body, and we have branches, the crown. So in this way, when I compare the trees, the roots, the trunk standing tall, and the branches that go up, we can think of our subconscious mind as the roots. The roots are invisible. And similarly, our subconscious mind is not visible. We can feel it, but in action, but it's not manifested. We can't even interpret the messages. So that world is invisible. Similar with the trees. That's everything that gives the tree receive nourishment and all its strength, and also it's anchored to the ground with its roots. And the stronger the roots, the stronger it can grow. The trees, similar to us, we have a manifestation of our body will support, and the crown, and that later bears fruit, is considered our actions in the world, our thoughts, our dreams, and everything that becomes an action in the world. So that's the only thing that exists. Is like we also can relate to past, present, and future in relation with our human life. It's our past, our roots, our present in the moment is our trunk, is what we are now, right now. This, our body that exists right now at the moment, and our thoughts, our desires, and our probably actions that manifested in some fruit. Similar to trees, we humans, we need warmth, the sun. If you know, and we can draw the sky and the sun. That's why I asked to leave a little bit more space, and I indicate a semicircle, like circle that symbolize the sun, the sky, the light in one or the other. And from here, we receive, similar to the tree, light and warmth. So that you know that the trees need light, sunlight and some light for convert the nutrition, the process of photosynthesis. So that's why they need light. But the nutrition that the trees get, they get from the soil, the water that comes from the soil, also elements, minerals, and then they become, if it's rich soil that allows to grow, it can produce beautiful trees. So the seeds, and you can imagine that if a seed you drop on a not fertile soil, like rocks, stone, weather, or desert, there is the seed will not grow at all. And only when the soil contains enough nutrients for the tree, but also enough moisture, allows to any seed to grow. Similar to us, the humans, we need it's not only food, I mean not only physical food, but also ideas and our knowledge to grow. We also need society, we also need examples to build and to grow. But it's not visible because it's something in the past that allows us to grow. And I would like to indicate that with the lines, it's like a circle of nature, where the moisture, water comes to the ground, and it becomes, and then it's absorbed by the tree roots, and everything it goes into growth. And again, it's up, water evaporates from excess of water evaporates from leaves, and everything else, nutrients and moisture, goes into building structure, the tree structure, and also develop fruit, blossom and develop fruit. Similar to us, the humans, in an ideal world, we're supposed to get enough from our background, from our environment, take it enough for our development, and the rest give it away to give it to bear fruit. A fruit is our influence in our effect that we can get in society. I mean, not only raising children that often we can think about it bearing fruit, but also how we affect society around us and overall as humans. Every human, we have our energy, we have our vibes, so-called vibes. It depends what culture you're thinking. And that will affect not only humans, our relatives and friends, but also our entire environment, our neighbors, our country, and the nature alone. And that's probably what right now some thinkers expressed their idea that the condition with the virus exists because the humans with so much neglected our nature, our connection to nature, that nature expressed its state of imbalance in relationship with humanity. A gentle reminder, pay attention to it with the virus. That's some of the ideas. And again, it's like a circle of life. Moisture and light comes down and becomes absorbed by the tree roots. And again, it comes a process of building the tree cells and our cells and comes out. So that could be considered like a model. So if we refer to other Jewish wisdom that you probably know, that it's known as Kabbalah. Sometimes it's pronounced like a Kabbalah, but a proper way to say it's Kabbalah. Kabbalah. Let me check something if somebody would like to. Trying to get. Okay, I'm sorry. If somebody tries to get into the post, and I will the copy passcode. See whether she is able to join. So this cycle continues. When I mentioned about the wisdom of Kabbalah, it's always built on our relationship with Absolute. Kabbalah, the word itself comes from the root Jewish word for receive, to the Kabbalah. Kabbalah, it's like receiving. And it's always based on that relationship between receiving and giving. So if we don't give energy, quite often we experience a lack of energy. So that says that probably it's not that we have less energy, but because we have much energy, but if we don't express it in the world around us, in some ways, creative way or just communication, it becomes stagnant. And as a result, we become negative. That's one of the sources of negativity. That's where do not express enough of our energy. Now, again, moisture that comes from the sky, building branches and goes up. And also reminds me of another one, if you know a toroidal field, that every human, every element in trees themselves are surrounded by so-called toroidal field, like energy that comes out and comes back. So maybe we will draw some. So if we have a few more lines, we can start routing. What I'm thinking, you could draw as many lines as you want. It's like a slow process of meditative process. Up. And yesterday I got so, when I practiced this model, I kept on adding lines This also could represent connection, the trees and where connect. What's the ground, which is here, also could be symbolized by a circle, and the sky. When we think about the tree, and also the root system, why it's so important, probably the most important element in the tree structure is the root system. Branches could be pruned and cut, and the tree could be broken. But if the root system survives and healthy, it can grow again, and new branches will appear, and it can bear fruit again. In the Jewish tradition, and also when we talk about trees and the root system, we consider that we have roots in heaven, which is true. It's like speaking the modern language, is our consciousness. If there's no consciousness, if we do not realize that connection, we will not be able to grow and develop. I mean, like self-realization. Yes, the body can grow, but whether we'll have enough vitality, enough feeling of happiness and realization without being consciously aware of our connection. And that part is also invisible. So, and I start adding a little bit rounding here when it's connected. The direction of my lines indicate the flow of energy. So it comes from above, from the sky. It comes down and through the tree, and we give it away. Give it, and as a result of our fruits, we can add fruit, various fruits in our trees, whether they're good deeds, our positive attitude, our love, our kindness, compassion. If you can help with the physical actions. But again, they have to be, to bring results, they have to be from the pure heart. Not looking for some kind of reward. I draw some fruit. For me, will be most important my feeling of my translated as positive. If I can't make like a physical action of helping, but at least I can share my state of calmness and positivity with people who are around me. And of course with nature around me as well, because everything is affected by our state of. Maybe they are small. I don't grow. Sometimes I used to grow like a big fruit. No, they may be very small and expressed Smiles expressed every day are probably more important than big, you know, big deeds in one way. So consistency is also important. And I round to connect the tree. I follow the rules of NeuroGraphica, and I round those intersections to connect, to show the connections. Everything is interconnected. There's no conflict, there is no struggle in this drawing. It's just a drawing. So that's why if we do rounding, it's not only to reduce our tension, but also connect various elements with each other. I don't draw out all the corners, but the main ones. And of course, you can imagine that the lines go all around. It's like a torus, you know, like a donut. Let's see. You go, of course, in front. And it's all around on the front and then the back. So I'll draw a few lines here. So they're somewhere there, and then connect them. I have more lines on this side. It's interesting. And not on the other side. You can do as much rounding as you feel is necessary for you. I will do a little bit, just connect the fruit. With the branches. So they're not just floating in the air. It's my style that I draw many lines. So I draw many thin lines. Some of them are some overlap, some of them are just remain thin, like unconnected. Traditionally, in the trees, we always grow like the lines for the trees. We always draw from bottom up. It's a classical drawing of the neuro tree, and indicating growth, development. I think I'm combining two models, a little bit of element, another technique for drawing in NeuroGraphica, the shamanic rain. It's part of the course, but could be considered standalone practice, and I will be offering it in March, like both techniques, Neural Lotus and shamanic rain. They are part of this specialist training, but they could be just as techniques on their own. Okay, so when you are satisfied with the lines, and I think we can start applying some colors. Colors. When I'm thinking, of course, traditional. When we think about the tree, it's green, it's brown. But let's, for a moment, imagine what colors you're feeling right now. What colors would you like to use? There's a symbolic tree. It's just the name of the tree. Ask yourself, if not ask, just look at the pencils and like this, and feel like which colors would you like to use today? When I start drawing, I try. I take, like, my hand took the red one when I was talking about feeling of love and compassion. Of course, I will use red. And I will indicate just very lightly whether I like it, and I can just color it in the area just about this human figure, the chest, heart area. You can try like this. You try a little bit of color and see, do you like it or not? Just based completely on your feelings. And how much of this color you would like. I know from experience, when I start adding colors, for example, I often start with yellow, orange colors, warm, shiny colors. But at a certain moment, I realized, wow, it's too much. What else? Or any other color? I will. So connect that line as well. So that symbolize the sky, the upper. I felt like I needed to connect it more and around that line. I didn't pay attention to it at all, so I would like to add a little bit more, strengthening connection between the tree and the sky, a symbolic sky. That's why I add a little bit of rounding. Not all the lines, but oh, and I felt better. And the same with the earth. So would I like to add a little bit of green? Don't know yet. Maybe blue. Not sure. Maybe yellow. Look at the sky. And the sky, the sun. Let's see. Light. Fire. And actually it's earth. If you're using the system. Okay. I have to forget about the meaning of each color in relation to elements and just use my intuition and ask myself, what am I feeling? Okay, trying to forget about the colors. The spring coming. The spring is very close, and I want to add more brightness. I couldn't believe my eyes, but it was quite rain and almost like snowing, like wet snow falling on the day and place where I live in Vancouver. We don't have even in Canada, but it's not cold. It's not cold because of its location. We're on the Pacific Ocean, just on the coast. The climate is wet and warm. It's rarely that we have snow on the ground, and if we do have, it's such it's such mess. It's better if it doesn't snow, even if I love snow. And I saw a blossoming. A tree starts to blossom, and then I paid attention, and I noticed that certain trees start appearing buds coming. It's early spring, too early, just only the end of February or January. And I use one of my favorite colors is with light lilac. And I like blue combined with this color, with a lilac. So after drawing so many drawings, doing and years, been over 2 years, of course I developed my favorite combination of colors. And that's one blue, and those two colors, blue and light and lilac. And I layer the colors, I overlap the colors. So a little bit of purple. Maybe a little bit of brown. And by the way, I recorded some short video about how I apply colors, how I use pencils, and what paper I use. I just needed to record it, to edit it. It's recorded, but I didn't edit it, so I'll probably post it if not this week, next week. Also, this will be a very good example for others who watch the videos. Quite often, we don't see any examples of others. And some may become intimidated just drawing by watching only my example, and they don't know the others. So that could be a good example and also encouragement. I will continue experimenting with my colors. Right now, I'm not satisfied. I keep on applying color, but I don't have this connection with it through the colors. I have a connection through the drawings, but not through the color yet. And we've been drawing almost we're getting close to 1 hour for our session. There's everything for today, everything that I wanted to explain and show. So you're welcome to ask me any questions now, and of course to continue your drawing and color it as much as you desire. So before finishing, I also would like to show one more element, maybe a couple elements. I will continue. Typically, what I do, I keep on working on my drawing until I am satisfied with it. Then I take a photo of it and I post on my Facebook, Instagram, but also I include in the final version of my video when I edit it and I include it. So this is not a finished one. I would like to also to strengthen my drawing with the special field lines. Field lines is our connection with life, with energy of, with general energy, with the flow of life. On those field lines, they extend from one edge of paper to another. Yeah, there was a question from today is a few minutes. Full moon. Yeah, there is a connection. Jewish holidays follow the lunar calendar. So it's moving. So all the holidays are moving, and they, of course, all the holidays, they fall on the full moon. So that's why Tu BiShvat, which means it's a 15th day of a month of Shvat. And it's connected, it follows the lunar calendar. So that's why the two events coincide. Yes. Thank you for bringing it up, because it's important, but sorry, I forgot to mention. So there's my field lines, that connecting with strong energy. They go from bottom up, a flow of energy. Typically, I draw 3, maybe on this size drawing. They're stronger. And also, I will need to round them. To round the intersection between the lines and the field lines. making it softer by smudging the pencil lines. Okay, so I will probably finish for now. I mean, I will continue drawing. Thank you so much for joining me today. What I was thinking about is to offering this kind of meditative drawing using the Hebrew alphabet. There is a tradition of meditation when every letter in the Hebrew alphabet means something. It is very significant. And explaining what it means and also drawing it. It's classical meditation, even use the Christian world, letters and explanation and meditation with them. So my interest right now is finding a peace within, connection to nature, connection to everyone, connection to the universe. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your interest. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very nice day or very nice night, depending where you are.